club around the model room welcomes all. Thanks for stopping by, answering the call. Ups and downs are normal for some of us. Many days I beg to get off this life bus. Neon lights flicker, my shadow on the wall. Dreams on the ceiling, we run and then we fall. Sharing stories over paper cups. Wheels keep turning but never enough. Life's a ride on a rickety old track, holding on tight, never looking back. In the rubber model room, we couldn't fight it, but I cried out.
And you know something, Des? It looks like that this suspect.
All right. Whoops. Hang on. I'm trying to get it changed. I have no clue. We're doing a chase. I figured what the hell.
Looks like we're going to be getting on the freeway here.
Just for a minute, if nothing else.
Side of the 10,
ching,
so
ching.
not too getting on the freeway.
I got nonsense playing in the background, so
side of the 10, so
if y'all hear her, it's just nonsense.
County General USC
It's just
Hospital.
nonsense in my
Now we'll see if
background.
we're
I'd
gonna
have
head
to get up and
towards
turn that off.
downtown Los
I don't want to
Angeles
get up.
or cut over towards the 5 freeway. So the person we've seen on the 5
that puts me down there on the bottom. Y'all need to see me anyways.
Spotlight's
I'm in for it. Let's do it.
as
You got
well,
chase.
and just be kind of
Figure
curious to
out
see
your
if they
comment.
want
I don't
to
even know
get
what I'm doing
CHP
here.
involved now that it's on the freeway. I'm gonna think that they want to stick with this. It
That
sounds
chase.
like a suspect
There
that
was
they want.
I think there was
So,
a shooting.
again, we'll see if they hail CHP for this one, but,
California.
pretty good
California.
possibility
Hang
that
on. I
they're
don't even have
just
my
going to stick with
headphones
this
on. I don't even know what they're
themselves,
saying
but
because I turned down
headed
my
towards
phone.
downtown
I
LA.
got
We'll
too
see what the next
excited.
move is.
Got really a few seconds left before we restart the program. Desmond, did you know if there's one suspect or two?
But there was
in that
something
vehicle?
about a shooting. They
Well,
had
I
they
believe we heard
stopped
that there
at
were two.
a
Okay.
stoplight
Two is
where
what
police were
we're-
surrounding the car. I don't know. I jumped on it as fast as I
All right, we're
could.
going to get back to Desmond.
And we begin with the breaking news, the LAPD pursuit of a shooting suspect.
And Desmond Shaw is lined in Sky Cal with more.
It's
Desmond, we had to
late.
break for a
It's
moment
late,
to restart
Muffins.
the
It's
program here at
late.
11 p.m. You said you believe there were two suspects, correct?
That's with the knowledge that we're working off of for the initial reports here from LAPD. Always difficult to tell because 98% of the time we have the pursuit tent, as we call it, the very dark windows. Very, very
look at
popular
what
with our pursuit suspects
have
in
a guard,
Southern
yeah.
California, so making it kind of difficult to see.
Oh,
Maybe we'll see
nope,
maybe we
we
get
don't
an
need trial
opportunity
stuff right
to
now.
look in the front windshield at some point. But
Oh, what?
westbound on the
Look.
10 here at the moment, just widening out, seeing how LAPD is handling this. They're still back there.
I don't know.
They
I'm playing with
haven't
my
heard anything
screen.
about a
I don't know
tracking
what I'm
mode
doing.
or anything like that.
I don't
So,
know what I'm doing. I
as
know.
we zoom back in
Look,
here,
why
the
do I keep
helicopter
looking at
overhead,
y'all?
keeping tabs on this one, at least 3 or 4 vehicles in active pursuit. And we saw speeds kind of picking up just before they got on the freeway, but not kind of slowing back down again. It really just kind of seems like the suspect
Muffins
doesn't know
Hio
what they
changed her
want to
little
do. They were
name to
circling
True
that
Crime
neighborhood for
Guardians.
such a long
So
time.
that's your Aunt
And then all
Hio.
of a sudden kind of decided to change tactics right now as we are maybe exiting the freeway here. Yeah, getting off, it looks like right around Soto's. Let's see where we end up here as we just get right back on the freeway, most likely. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be getting right back on. So kind of that, another very common.
Oh, you did? Okay. I wasn't sure. I wasn't
Get
sure.
off the freeway,
Oh, but I
get back
changed
on
your thing, so I need to
the
fix it here.
opposite
Watch.
direction and just kind of
I did fix this.
looks like that's what we're doing here now, eastbound 10. So headed back to where we began, and I wouldn't be surprised
I think
if
it
we
fixed.
got off
Hold
the
up,
city
let's
terrace
see.
by the 710
Yes.
and kind of circled around that same
See, I fixed it. I even
So
fixed it in
Night
Nightbot for
has
you.
also been following this since even before we got overhead of this pursuit. Mike, two things strike me. One, it's really fortunate that there isn't a lot of traffic right now on the
Let me
freeways,
go
and
mute
then
nonsense. I
also
can't. I
when
can't
on
multitask.
surface
Hold
streets
up.
was going pretty slowly.
Yeah, it's kind of indicative of them not really understanding maybe where they're going or what their next, excuse me, what their next move is. Orlando on our assignment S2 was also able to get some information. The shooting happened about 10:30 tonight, 4th and Blanchard, where a victim was shot in the neck. That victim was conscious and alert at the time.
Okay,
which is
and it's a late night
unusual,
stream,
maybe
so
graze wound or
y'all.
something like that. But I can tell you
I'm
that
sorry,
LAPD responded
but
to that location.
it's a late night
immediately got a
stream,
suspect
so
description of this white Honda Pilot from witnesses, and it was the helicopter that actually picked it up and actually picked it up and started calling it out to the cars. So the helicopter had it before the ground units had it, but it was because of the good description.
yeah, but
the
see,
ground
it's a
units got,
shooting,
the helicopter was
so
able to
I
get
don't
in the
know,
area
you know,
and
it's
find
being
it
a
pretty
shooting
quickly
suspect.
and start following it, try to get it to pull over. Obviously, it
He
didn't.
uses a
Okay,
blinker,
did we
right? He
hear
uses a blinker.
earlier about a following of some kind?
Yeah, so
Mike first?
because the helicopter found it first, that was the following. So then they get more ground units in place, and before they actually tried to make a traffic stop, There was only one ground unit in the helicopter. They wanted some more ground
What are
units
you
in there
doing up
first,
so late?
and that was when they were technically in the following.
Child.
Then when they had enough ground units, helicopter was already
Why are
overhead.
you up so
They
late?
tried to light it up and pull it over. Excuse me, and it did not stop.
Okay, well, we see that, do they have the lights off as they're driving? Or maybe it's just the,
Or maybe the
it's so
dim
dark.
lights.
Yeah, it just looks like
Yeah,
just
now they're
driving
lighting them
lights.
up
Or,
again.
you know,
And
hey,
so
if
obviously
they're
this
in my
ticks it up a
car,
bit
if
because
they were in
we
my
assume
car,
that
they're
still
just dim
armed.
lights.
Yeah.
I keep
If they're
telling my
pursuing
man,
them
he's
because of a
put me in
shooting.
some of them.
Yeah, that's the working
high
theory, and the fact that you did have
LEDs
a
or whatever you
gunshot
call them.
victim. So it's not even kind of
Jack, gotta go back
ambiguous
to
as to
work.
whether or not there
Bless
was a
his
shooting
heart.
because you've got a guy with a gunshot wound to the neck as we exit City Terrace, Des?
Yep, I called it. Yeah, this is right back to where they were hanging out before. So as I suspected, so back into this neighborhood.
But they
that
didn't show the
seem to
part where
enjoy
the
so
guy
much,
like got
was
out
kind of
and
hanging
or
around here
they had the
where,
car surrounded
City
and stuff.
Terrace,
It
Hazard
was a black
Drive,
screen when that
Gage
happened. It
Street,
was a
they were
minute,
just
so.
kind of circling around that neighborhood, and now we're right back there off of the 10th and City Terrace, making a right-hand turn right here. But you know, these if they were willing to do spike strips, I mean, these lower speeds are definitely providing an opportunity
Dad's
for
not
that.
even
It's
home
always
yet.
kind of tough to say when you're dealing with someone believed to be armed and dangerous. But we have seen it
I
before
gotta go
where
stir the
we'll
stove.
get some
Shit.
officers out there taking advantage of a suspect in the same neighborhood, or you know, keeping kind of these lower. Well, I say lower speeds. Now we're up to almost freeway speeds on the street. So variable speeds, but just hanging around these same neighborhoods. We haven't seen anything super crazy yet as far as blowing through red lights and not even slowing down at intersections or anything like that. But starting to pick up the speeds right now. City Terrace and Rambo's Drive here in the City Terrace area.
Menudo on
to
to warm
Cal
up
State
for him so he'd have
and
it
the
when he got
710.
home.
And
Then when I said he
I
was
had a little bit of trouble with that turn.
be home
I think
at
there. Maybe
you know
didn't
120.
realize how
I
big of a vehicle was driving.
still in
Honda
there
Pilot,
boiling.
full-size SUV, definitely a rather you know, large, dare I say, a bit ungainly of a vehicle here, as we are, you know, dealing with some neighborhoods right now and some trees, and see if we can reacquire the vehicle right
What
here.
were you
But
doing
yeah,
up,
here they
Yo?
go. Just kind of squirrely streets around here, back onto Gage Avenue for like the 10th time tonight, and circling around with no plan. Certainly
Shit,
seems like they
thinking
could
of
get
Hio,
out.
I
But
forgot to
LAPD
check
is
to
right
see if
behind
that
them. They're
game
not giving him too
downloaded.
much space. If they did
I don't know
want to get
why
out
I
and run,
think
they
of games went. I
wouldn't
guess
have much
because
of
I
a
know
head
you
start.
game with your
Well, the
husband.
good thing is,
I was just thinking
Desmond,
because
they're driving
for some
at
reason
maybe higher speeds, but
the
still at a speed where they can
Call of
relatively
Duty,
keep their
whatever,
eye on
not
them,
eating
and
menudo.
LAPD has been able to keep up behind them.
Oh,
Just,
come on. I
probably
make
for
some
those
good
purposes, they get
menudo,
in these
though.
residential
I
neighborhoods, and
do.
they can slow down and possibly try to make an exit or bail on foot. But and we've seen officers on the ground possibly lose them, and then it gets into another scenario where they're trying to find them in
I made it
buildings
Saturday night.
or houses.
Well, and right now we are
I made
actually
a
pretty
big pot
close to where the
Saturday
original
night,
shooting was.
and I took pictures of everything so I could put like a
Ports of
little
Blanchard,
recipe.
we're
You know,
also
like how I do
hearing,
my
Mott
did
and
my
Houston. They're all
barbecue
kind of right
video.
next to each other.
I want to do that.
We just
good
actually
pozole
passed
too. Ooh, I
Blanchard
make
a
a
second
good
ago. So
pozole.
he's been kind of circling in this area.
Maybe I'll
You know,
do
when
that
we were early
next
on in the
weekend.
pursuit, we could hear
That'll
the
be my
airships
next
tell the
weekend,
units of the
menudo.
shooting, just
I
be
know.
advised he's kind of
just
making
can't
his
do
way
tripe.
back towards you. So he's familiar with this area at least a little bit to continue to stay in it. Kind of interesting that he would stay so close to where
Oh, no, what
the
I was
shooting
saying
happened.
And
was
that's why he's being
he scares me
pursued.
when he turns those corners
so
like that.
it's kind of weird, but yeah, we're
What
not
I was
far.
saying was,
We're in the Boyle
for
Heights
some
area, which is where
reason,
the shooting happened.
that
So
whatever
we're
that
not far from that at
new
all. I don't know if
Call of Duty
how close
game
we are to it at
was,
the moment, but
not
I
the
do
brand
know
new
the
one,
dealership
but the
has
one
been
before
warning those
that.
officers
I don't know why,
that were
but it
back at the
deleted
shooting
off the
scene, just be
PS5,
advised he's kind of
and Dad
moving his way back towards
re-downloaded it, and he's like, "Can
And,
you
we
go
talk
check it and
a
see
lot
if?" And I
about
forgot.
Desmond. We had another
forgot.
pursuit, I think, a
So-
week ago, where the suspect was getting on the freeway, off the freeway, surface streets, and that causes confusion for the agencies too, right? As far as their jurisdiction, who takes over the pursuit? Is it CHP? Does it continue with LAPD? And they have to kind of make that call and dealing with this unpredictability.
Oh,
Yeah, it kind
Oh.
of depends on the nature
so
of
it
the
was
crime
supposed
as
to
well. I mean, there's
re-download
nothing
it and stuff, but I don't
necessarily
know.
stopping LAPD from continuing, you know,
Oh.
a pursuit on the freeway or keeping CHP
Get
from
the
pursuing
fuck out.
someone
Get-
on
look at
surface
you.
streets. We've seen CHP do
Mm-mm.
pit maneuvers on
Mm-mm.
surface streets,
Mm-mm.
but that tends to that kind of back and forth tends to happen with the more minor violations, like when you
Nah,
get these
nah.
pursuits that start because of a traffic infraction or maybe, you know,
But we still
suspected
can't get the
DUI
PS4 to
or a
work. It
missing
totally
plate or
shut
something
down.
like that. But this
It
being
won't
a shooting
even.
suspect,
You turn
makes
it
me
on and
think
it
that
tells
this
you
is
some
one
kind of
that
error. I
LAPD
can't
is
even get into
probably
it. So I
just
got a whole
going to
PlayStation
keep
4
their
sitting here that we
jurisdiction
don't
on
can't even
and
use.
keep with us unless they gets on the freeway for a really extended period of time, and they just have an issue with too many officers getting out.
We
of
need to get another
their
controller for the
precinct or
PS5.
something like that. But we've definitely seen pursuits where when they're really serious,
God, I hate when they take corners. They make
one of
the light was green.
maneuvers we've seen here in East LA is we're right next to the Gold Line tracks, I believe. So this seems like one where they're probably going to decide to stick with it, and you see how they are keeping the spotlight overhead, and the units are not too far back there. Whereas, lately, especially with the more minor ones, LAPD,
but I mean, he's going
maybe
60
could cancel it altogether, or certainly give them a lot
where
more
it keeps
space.
rolling
or,
up to.
Tell them to go into tracking mode. But this does not seem like one of those pursuits. This seems like one that they are going to be pretty determined
Muffin,
to
when you
stick
coming
with,
back?
It is a pretty violent incident that we're talking about here. So kind of some dark
I
streets.
don't. Well, he's a
We have been on
shooting
lot of
suspect,
residential
so
streets
they're
here
not gonna.
now.
They're not
It's
gonna
kind
just
of on
let
the
him
edge of
go.
Loyal Heights and
They're
East
gonna
LA,
go till the
kind of
end, you know.
half commercial, half
So run out of
residential area,
gas,
but
or they
getting
throw
pretty
some
late.
spike
Haven't really seen any
strips.
pedestrians or anything out here, so
Yeah.
that's certainly good. At least
Just
that
what he
it's at
said.
this
There's no
late hour.
pedestrians out there, so
Still kind of using the turn lane to get around somebody
maybe
there.
you want some
But,
pozole?
Dangerous nonetheless, but at least not as many people
You
out
want
here.
some pozole? You eat
as
pozole,
opposed
baby?
to have this happen
I'm gonna
a
make
lot
some
more.
pozole this weekend.
You had mentioned that we have seen them actually use spike strips before, even when I just saw black and white there on that side street.
Yeah.
It's we've seen them do this
Yeah, it'll come.
before,
Well,
even though this is presents a bigger danger, of course, because
your
of the suspect
uncle
possibly still
says he's
having,
coming by this weekend,
weapons
but
or a weapon
I doubt it.
with them. But
So,
because of the lower
you know how that
speeds and
goes.
they
I still ain't
seem to
even
be
filled you
going
in on
back
that,
to the
Gus.
same area, doesn't that make it a bit more of a possibility that they could possibly try something like that?
Okay.
It does. But
Okay.
Now
That'll work.
Now we're actually kind
That'll
of
work,
starting to
baby.
trend away from that area. They were hanging around that area. They did get back off, like I predicted that they were going to get back off at City Terrace. But now we're kind of drifting to the west here, a little bit closer towards Boyle Heights, Dodger Stadium, downtown LA. Looked like he might have clipped a cone right there as we're over on First Street of the bridge, where there's quite a bit of construction going on.
But again, it's late night traffic. I mean, it's late night, so there is no traffic, which is good.
So headed towards downtown Los Angeles. There's the train tracks again with this one. And we know what can happen with pursuits in downtown. So now this will definitely be a test of how serious LAPD does want to be with this. And if they want to, really get up.
I mean, they're right there.
Vehicle, because the closer
they could do spike strips. I mean, there's all kinds of options.
Their helicopter, and just a shout out to the TFO and that, because I light officers that LAPD has right now. But even for him, it just gets very difficult when we get in with all of those really tall buildings right now. So, and here we go over the LA River, and we're just about in downtown Los Angeles.
Friday morning, I have my hospital visit. It's the last one.
Parking lots that
be my 8th one. I'll be done. I'm so glad.
To
won't
go
have to do that
into
again for
and
another year.
Actually, get lost most of the time. I mean, I don't want to use
It's
the
in the
word
morning,
ditch, but
so.
we've seen that happen a number of times.
Okay,
and
baby.
that's just because of how it's the topography, if you will, of downtown Los Angeles. It's just presents itself in that fashion for them to be able to hide from law enforcement,
Close
if you will.
right there.
Yep, he did just go through that red light.
Yeah, that was. Back that up. Just back that up. Just a second. I want to see him go through that intersection.
Be able to hide from law enforcement.
Ooh,
if you
yeah.
will. Yep, he did.
About in the neck, you said, and I'm just wondering how it changes the tactics of police when they're actually going after something. We
I need
talked
to
about
fix
a more
that
serious
because
violent crime
see
like
what
this.
the
as
stupid
infraction or no plate
Nightbot
or something
does.
like that.
Right. What we have,
Like,
yeah,
you put
exactly. What we have not
because
seen
it kept
so
telling
far,
that to
which we
Cindy
typically
today.
see,
Because Cindy
especially
always,
with the
because I need to put that
LAPD,
exclamation
is
point back in
tracking
front of it.
mode, and
So
tracking
if they
mode
do
is not something that
exclamation
they really have
BRB,
done.
then
We've seen the
it'll
spotlight on the whole
welcome
time.
back with
We've
the
seen
name.
like the sirens on from the
Gunna
patrol
says,
units that are
I
following
know,
it.
that's what I'm
And
saying.
so they'll do that,
Let me
and
see
then
if I can
they're
fix that real
asking
quick.
if they can even get even closer right now because of the tall buildings coming to downtown. So they're working on getting permission to do that. And just as I say, this actually looks like the night sun might be off now.
Here it is. Let
And
me
that's
edit
going to be very
Here we
problematic here in downtown, as you see one of the tall buildings coming right into it. And because it's a shooting suspect, they're going to be less likely to want to do a pit maneuver. Those things make them nervous when they have to spin a car around and they
All right,
potentially
I think I
have a
fixed
gun.
it. I think I
Des, did we lose the night sun?
Change the name to Go to Muffins. No, don't do
I
that.
don't see it here at the moment. We're just kind of looking at all the clouds around us as well.
Now I should do it right.
So we're just making sure that everything is okay with us up here as we make the turn off of Beaudry, which parallels.
Hey, babe, I didn't know that was you. I thought that was Tyler in the kitchen.
We're just gonna kind of have to get around the Wilshire.
Hang on, I'll be right back.
Big antenna right there is the clouds
got it right
up against the clouds right now, but. Yeah, southbound on Beaudry, but if despite the fact that we're going into downtown, and actually looking like he wants to make a turn away from downtown, we're now on the west end, not seeing like the super crazy driving, the super crazy speeds, indicative of someone who wants to ditch the vehicle, making a turn now onto 3rd Street. Just give us a chance to get around this. You do see the spotlight there from LAPD, but I'm sure they're just making sure that there's enough space between us and them down there, and with the clouds and keeping tabs on all of these buildings that are in our way right now. But yeah, we're now, as I zoom back in, I mean, we're actually right at about the speed limit here, westbound on 3rd Street, and just kind of slowing. It really just seems like, I don't know, the suspect's kind of aimless. So we thought maybe there was something going on headed towards downtown LA, but now we're headed away from downtown, westbound on 3rd into the Westlake district towards MacArthur Park and beyond.
And it's interesting, they haven't tried to get back on the freeway. I mean, they decided to go this direction, and as you say, moving away from downtown. But still, I'm looking at the speeds here, and relatively, besides maybe running a red light or two, we haven't seen the kind of erratic driving or just really stepping on the gas.
And even
to try to outrun officers.
Yeah, and even that kind of slowing at the red light
right now.
I mean,
and then he's slowing in all the turns. I mean, he's not taking them.
As a shooting. Usually
SUV, I would be so afraid that thing would flip.
A lot harder, certainly, than these guys are. I mean, now we're coming to just a tight turn there. Yeah.
Babe, you want to turn me on the big TV and watch me on the big TV? We got to chase.
This is the first time we've been this far west, though. So the furthest we got west was,
crime
basically
never,
right here.
Your muffin says crime never sleeps, Dad.
So getting over here onto surface streets in the Westlake district is certainly the furthest.
Crime never sleeps.
Who knows if
Muffins,
they're trying to make another move forward or exactly what they've got going on here. Actually, more than two does.
Stop.
Yeah, it does look like there are more than 2.
Yeah, I mean, definitely 2. I saw someone there as a Waymo getting out of the way. Kind of interesting to see.
What is that?
Waymo in the
Waymo.
Pursuit.
What is that?
So yeah, we definitely saw someone in the passenger seat. And it looked like they were on a phone. And, yeah, I think I saw the passengers, the rear passenger side window down.
Isn't that what a Waymo is?
As well, which could be indicative of more than 2 in the vehicle, unless they just have those rear windows rolled down. So it couldn't quite get a good look at the rear there. But as we're on Lucas and Westlake, kind of a weird intersection right there. So exiting downtown, but I'm almost starting to wonder if the suspect, I mean, I said running out the clock, but another thing that some of these guys like to do is get on social media and start live streaming.
Okay, now I have to Google it, because
maybe start
y'all know me. I gotta have those facts.
They're being pursued and driving at slow speeds. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if that's going on right now either. A lot of times with these slow speed
Waymo,
pursuits,
self-driving car, autonomous vehicle,
kind of gallivanting around, I guess I would say, at 25
formerly
miles an hour.
Waymo is formerly the Google self-driving car project. Makes it safe and easy for people.
What's happening here? Now onto the sidewalk.
He almost missed the car. It's gonna
go.
Nope.
Very bizarre turn up onto the sidewalk and onto Temple Street. Changed their mind there and headed now westbound on Temple. It just seems like the suspect has no idea what they want to do from one second to the next. Can't even decide what street they want to turn onto, and then have to make that awkward turn. Actually, Douglas Street now. So the Westlake area.
You sit up here and chit chat and watch the shit.
Definitely a unorthodox one as far as pursuits go.
Well, unorthodox also in the fact that that they went to the area where this shooting took place. You would think like that's the last place you'd want to go.
And hung out a lot.
I mean, you do it on TikTok.
Yeah, not more than once.
Yeah.
And
see,
I believe Desmond, you mentioned
you do it on TikTok, so there's no reason you couldn't do it on YouTube too.
When we were able to
you can dual stream.
Closer to this vehicle.
You can do on this. You can do Facebook and
they are. I mean, they receive phone calls from witnesses.
YouTube at the same time. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think you can. There's ways you can sign into them, but I don't really know.
So if they ran,
I don't know how. And he ain't taught me that much yet.
Yeah, very possible, or they could be on the phone with loved ones or with their lawyer or something like that. As we see
Website.
LAPD coming back into the shot here, as we are back into downtown. Actually, here
Ran another
eastbound
red light. Oh, what is he doing?
on
Yo,
Temple,
move the thing out the way.
making a weird turn, and
Made
it looks like
a-
we're going to be getting
Freeway.
onto
Okay,
the
he decided he's
freeway
going to turn
now,
that way.
onto the southbound 101 here off of Temple, so right away from
And
the full level. So back into
see?
the heart of downtown.
And he pops out the bushes.
I mean, I don't know. The smart money would probably say he's going to go East 10 and get off
stream
of City
video
Terrace
games
and do
on
another
Twitch.
loop around there. We'll see here. Lots of options coming down.
But I
to
think,
the 101.
Hio, you can we can stream to Rumble too from this, right? I don't know about Twitch.
Go through the heart of
from
downtown
StreamYard
on the southbound 101, and even on the freeway. Not actually.
Pick it up a little
I guess
bit.
we are getting kind of some highs. Yeah, about the 75 miles an hour. The speedometer gets a little bit off once they start to really kind of get away from us. But yeah, speed's picking up a little bit here. We'll come up to that interchange shortly, and we'll see what their next move is going to be.
When they were downtown, part of me was wondering if they might be lost trying to get on the freeway or something. Maybe they're unfamiliar with the area, because it can be a little bit tricky there with the one-way streets and the way the
no
freeway
different than when you're doing your TikTok Big Brother thing. Sitting there talking, showing
their
your
minds and what the
screen.
conversation
It's
is.
the same thing.
That was almost a little collision, would you say?
You could choose how long you want to be there and everything. The only reason I'm here, I start at 1 and I go till about 6-ish, is because I take that 8-hour trial day and I shut it down,
when you kind of jerk the
get
wheel
rid
like
of all
that,
the
plus with a high
brakes,
center
and I
of
enjoy
gravity,
doing the trials.
bad things
So
can tend to happen.
that's
and
just
it
what I
kinda
prefer
seems
to
like,
do.
the suspect is even having
You're
trouble
putting Chicho.
remembering that. So eastbound 10
Do what, babe?
away from the 101, and are we headed to City Terrace or beyond? And what is
I'll make
the plan
Pozole
here?
this
Just making
weekend. I'll
phone
make it
calls,
Friday.
maybe they
Kayla's
know the
gonna come
writing is
in.
on the wall, and they're just going to enjoy the last
Muffin.
few minutes of freedom and hopefully surrender.
There's
It's
nobody
also a
in
pretty
here.
big,
Don't worry, baby. I'm
gas-guzzling
sorry.
vehicle. I don't think they get
Yeah, she likes
probably
Pozole.
better than 20-ish miles of the
I'll make it
gallon,
on
so
Friday.
you can
She'll
always
come in
hope that
Friday
there's
night.
not much gas
Huh?
in the tank. But
She don't
impossible
like
to know
tripe,
at this
though.
point. 75 miles an hour, 80. That's about the fastest that we've
You don't
seen.
care. I try not to
so
say
far
your name
here
because
as
I don't. I
we
mean,
head
you
back
know,
to
I
where
know
this
Aunt
kind
Hio
of
knows
all
your name
began,
because
going
I talk
under
about
Soto
you.
Street there. And what's the next move going to be? Is it City Terrace or something else?
I was going to say, if they were negotiating or talking with police, they're not going very well, considering that they got back on the freeway and are basically heading in.
Well,
in
and
the same
basically,
direction, possibly,
baby,
but right now,
the pozole
seem like
juice is the same
real
as the
plan,
menudo juice. It's the
as they're just
same
riding around
stuff.
in the
It's the
same
same ingredients.
area. We're back and forth
You just
on
use
freeways.
the pork and you use,
Even going
you
downtown,
still
if they're
use
going to try
the
to make a move to
hominy.
dump the vehicle, that would probably be one of the best places to do that, considering they have all those
What, baby?
tall buildings, and we've seen that time and time again.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, going up to 106 now, right?
Actually, yeah, this is definitely the fastest that we've seen. So first time here at triple-digit speeds, and maybe they're thinking something here that they can get some distance from the police, and let's just widen out and see.
Is he exiting?
Pursuing units are still right back, or if they've kind of backed off, and they actually kind of have backed off. This is the most distance that we've seen between the suspect and the ground units. The helicopter's still on them, obviously, with their spotlight overhead, but more aggressive driving, maybe trying to take advantage of the fact that those units aren't right behind, and maybe now they're thinking that they could use that to their advantage. So I think we're going to be.
That was a stupid move. Y'all see that he was over in that lane behind him, while the right lane was open. He left behind that car.
Either one, just like that. Whoa! Got crazy. What happened here? The suspect, it's like they just weren't paying attention to what was going on. He didn't even try to make that turn. As they are now out. Here come two suspects.
We'll rewind it.
Doubling.
We'll rewind it. We'll rewind it.
I
just want to see what happens right now.
There's no units here. They gave them all of that space as they look.
Don't tell me he's going to run up the hill like the last guy.
A big embankment here. There's not a lot of lights.
They are. Somebody's running up the hill from the passenger side.
Around, maybe. Hopefully they have the sense to give up. But two people and two people that have gotten up. Yeah, I believe these are the passengers that are
there's
getting
two
up
of
here.
them.
Not too far away, actually, from LA County Sheriff's Deputy's big facility here off of Ramona and the 710. So under a big canopy of trees. But what a bizarre ending to the vehicle chase here. How
the guy staying with
like
the vehicle, what is he doing?
Attempt to make that turn, if they were texting or just not paying attention. And definitely
whoever the other ones were, they ran.
someone in a scooter has decided to come and get
It
involved
gave you an
in
ad as
all
soon
of
as you
this.
opened the door.
and
I'm
still-
This
sorry.
person kind of
I don't
sticking
do the
around.
ads. I
No
don't even know how to
LAPD.
do
Still
them.
no-
I don't
yeah,
even.
Yeah.
Still no LAPD here, and this is difficult because
See,
you've
look,
got,
watch him.
you know, the helicopter trying to keep track of 3 people.
I
One
think he
person's
just
in a
lost
vehicle,
track
2
of
them underneath these
his
trees.
his
This big
turning.
dark parking lot right here, whatever this is up on the hill. So this is very difficult.
see,
they,
look.
they want this shooting suspect. All of a sudden,
But he doesn't go
it's
anywhere.
a
He
very
just kind of
inopportune
stands
time to
around.
not
But the
have
other ones
any
take
units
off
directly behind.
up
And
that
he's
hill.
walking away
And
now,
we
Des,
saw
too,
that
to the
one
right.
person who was
Not the man on the scooter.
okay, yeah, and so he's walking away. And so I mean, the
I didn't
best
see
they
the
could
man
do
on the
is
scooter.
kind of keep with this person is just kind of casually strolling
Oh
around.
yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go for a walk.
And that the like casual tactic is not going to work if this
Just
is
trying to blend in.
their ploy, because yeah, but you know the
But they're
office
lighting it
the
up.
flag officer
Yeah.
knows that, and he's going to be guiding people in. And but yeah, the other 2
Pulled
are
up
under
on a
that canopy of
scooter. I didn't
trees,
see the
and
guy
you know,
on the scooter.
unfortunately, they have a lot of room to escape right now because you know there's only one helicopter and one spotlight and only one flight
And this
officer
guy
who can keep
walking with a
tabs on all this, so
spotlight on him,
there's no
y'all.
ground
I
units.
mean, come
We're still
on.
not seeing anybody respond to.
I would
this.
just
It's,
lay down.
it's
I'd
kinda
just sit
crazy.
down on those
Yeah,
steps and
okay,
be,
Dad, that
you know,
was my
come on,
next
just come
comment.
get
That
me.
just
I'm done.
Seems really untoward because they weren't that far
Yeah, thank you.
away when we watched this unfold. It's as if, you know, they almost went into a different direction where
He
this
make
this
that
vehicle
curve. That's
was.
what
They weren't that
happened.
far behind them for most of this, and then
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
that wild flight. I'm going to call it a flight.
And then
That's
people
almost
getting
what it
out on the
looked
other
like.
side. I didn't even
But for
see.
him
Look,
to
I'm over
still
here
be
pointing at my
walking
everybody
down
else
the
can see where I'm
sidewalk
pointing.
and no one is apprehended. I mean, that's what we were concerned about, them going in
And look
downtown,
down. He's on the corner. He gonna
being
make
able to
a block.
actually
He
ditch
gonna
the
turn.
vehicle
Look.
and go into a parking garage of some
Oh
kind,
my
or
God.
even if you didn't have the units behind them that they could foot bail and possibly get away.
Yeah.
So,
Hio, I
you know,
miss
we're
doing these
talking about it.
streams.
You would think they would be thinking about this.
Just wanted
Now
to
it
tell
looks
you
like he's
that.
it almost looks
He's
like
gone
he's
a long
hurt or
way
dragging, or there's something
without-
going on with him physically.
Yeah.
Now,
He's trying to wave down the car.
yeah,
Okay, I gotta
he
quit
might be
stomping my feet.
shaking
Oh,
up, and
look.
now I don't know. Now he's
Who's
just waving
this?
down a vehicle. See if we can get to the
Oh,
other
Is
side of this
that the
tree right
car?
here. But
no.
That's not the
vehicle-
car, you dumb lady.
No,
Okay.
no, this is a
She
minivan,
said, "Is that the
but,
car? That car's wrecked, you idiot."
If this is a person's friend or okay, or did they just get inside that vehicle?
Hopefully, it wasn't a carjacking.
No, they did not. No,
Oh.
Nope, they didn't let him
no,
in.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been an attempted carjacking or someone who's okay. Now we've got
CHP.
CHP.
Oh,
here
now
as
the cops are there.
well.
They're like, "Oh, no,
Okay,
we ain't
so
helping. We
kind
seen
of
the cops
ironic
coming."
that CHP is the responding agency and all this, and this person just doesn't even. really
He's right
seem to
there
care.
walking.
And okay, now, you know, at least they're not really putting up a struggle. Just really interesting. And
Wow.
this was the driver. It was the passengers that got out and hid. So now it just kind of makes you wonder if it was
But I
the
wonder
shooting
who was
suspect,
the shooting
one
suspect.
of the
Which one of
passengers
these?
that went up into that canopy of trees, and this person was just kind of the getaway driver. I mean, regardless, this person's going to be going to jail for failure to yield, and you know, maybe
Right.
several other charges. But just very weird. That person had so much time to get out here and just kind of go for an evening stroll, waiting for police to come and get them in custody here off of Corporate Center Drive
Yeah,
and
watch.
Ramona.
When he
So now that
went.
they
He
have
just
them,
didn't make that
we
curve.
are
That
back
was a
over
big curve.
here
And he,
to where we saw them underneath these trees right off of Ramona and the 10-710 where they kind of all meet.
all
And
that
that's
wreckage and
also
that dumb
CHP right here that
little
has
narrator
come to
lady.
join
Oh
in
my
on this
goodness, that's
investigation.
hard.
Last we saw, they're
Well,
going
there's
to
the
come and
car.
clear this vehicle, but there's just so much time has elapsed from when the suspects went up on this hillside under these trees. I mean, it was dark even
Yeah, and they
without the
didn't follow
trees,
those suspects. So
and, so it's going to be very tough to find those two.
You know, just when you were hoping that things, and when I say hoping, because they were so close behind
Yeah.
for some time. We said, well,
Yeah.
at least they're still on the ground right behind them. And it just didn't take any time at all, it seems like, for them to just lose
No.
officers and
oh look,
for
that
them
cop.
to
He went and
just,
got the
you
car. He's
know,
like, let's go
One of
up
those
the
officers
hill.
just ran
Yeah,
back to the
he was-
car and took off.
He was pointing at something up in the hill, and then
I gotta quit stomping my
He
feet.
goes
I don't know
around.
if y'all can hear when I do that.
Something.
and Des, I don't know if you heard it too, but listening to the radio, the flight officer up there, you could hear his frustration
I bet.
and just saying, "Come on, guys, they're right up here at the Ramona exit. Make a
Yeah.
right, like it's right here." And so you could just feel the frustration in his voice, knowing that there's 3 suspects taken off, and that one of them is likely
that cop, he's going up the hill.
or allegedly responsible for a very serious shooting, and there's no units anywhere close to it. and you could feel the frustration.
Yeah.
What are all those lights in the
these
parking
people
lot? That
stop
was
and stare.
weird.
It almost looks like they're driving somewhere with purpose, like they know where someone is.
Yeah.
Oh, those are like
This is
canopy
up on
lights
that
or something,
hillside where we
probably.
saw, and then if looks like it's a restaurant maybe or some type
Yeah,
of
see the canopy. I was like, what are
yeah,
those
some
weird
type of,
looking
it
things
said
in the
open
parking
for
lot?
brunch,
It's
that
not. It's
sign
canopy
right there.
lights.
But yeah, so they're probably up on this property somewhere. Just so many places to hide. I mean, they had a good 3 or 4 minutes there under cover of darkness to get away, and it's just. Man, you know, they were on them so well for most of the pursuit, but then as soon as they stepped on the gas and got up to about 100 miles an hour is when we saw those units back off, and the helicopter had to kind of go it alone. And so now we have, you know, CHP that has suddenly responded to this, and I'm still not seeing any LAPD on this, but, you know, they're responding with vigor right here up on this hillside, running around, and they got their flashlights out trying to look for suspects when this wasn't even a pursuit that they got initiated with. So I'm wondering if, you know, that flight officer got on with CHP to knowing that maybe they were in the area and could get them to respond more quickly. But it's just very bizarre how this all happened, let alone how the suspect basically ended it themselves, just going, there's LAPD there, but off of the off-ramp. And it wasn't even that ramp right there. It was this one where they came and didn't even try to turn and just plowed right through the fence and onto the sidewalk, and, you know, just fortunate that they didn't take another vehicle out. They could have T-boned them and really, really hurt someone with that huge vehicle going like 30, 40 miles an hour. But kind of amazing,
scary,
too, that they were all able to get out and run. And
I wonder if they
got
find
the
the other
driver in
two.
custody, but the other two that took up off the hillside and trying to set up a containment, but, you know, it might just be too late.
It was almost like the driver got out and distracted as a distraction while the other two got away and just didn't even try to run or put up a fight or anything.
But he had that night sun on him. Like you were talking about the frustration for that pilot up there, Desmond, but he kept that night sun on that driver, which, you know, I can't imagine what he was thinking about. Can you imagine, you know, that light beaming down on you, thinking you're getting away? He's like, nope, at least they have a light shining on you. And that was the entire time that he was walking.
You think
and
they find him?
You know, let's just say it. He walked.
Yeah, I mean, he just kind of seemed to accept what was about to happen to him. Didn't really.
I want to do a stream on this lady. I want to do a late night stream. Maybe tomorrow night I'll do a late night stream.
And we do. I do see officers there with weapons drawn, so maybe they do have a lead on one of these suspects. I mean, it is a big property with a lot of trees.
Oh no, what I was going to tell you,
if they decided to hunker down, you know, it might have given
Hector and I watched last night
a chance to get at least one or two of them.
Because I want to do a little stream on it, just a short stream, enough to put it out there. But the Amish lady that drowned her 4-year-old baby
right underneath that tree, right behind that car.
Did you see about
we'll
that?
See if they've got anybody in custody, but it looked like for a second that they may have seen somebody under there.
You know, we saw that officer down where the car actually crashed, that location, jump into the car. It was almost like she got information, jumped into the car, took off, and knew exactly where they were going.
Probably tomorrow night I'm going to do a late night stream on it. But this Amish lady, and she said she was giving him to God. And so now there's a big issue. Was it a mental breakdown or was it a religious thing? But if you look at the body cam video that they put out, it's really weird because she's like, she looks to me in a psychotic state. That's just me saying that. My opinion. But she reaches out and she touches the cop and she touches him and she's like, and something about praying for me and stuff. And I had seen on one interview a African-American activist that had said if it was somebody else, that cop would have had her on the ground. So there's all kinds of controversy with it. And even two other t-shirt uniform lady cops. Yes, that's what she said in this body cam video. But and then two lady officers, some heavyset officers that were in just like white t-shirt type uniform logo thing, and they came up and one of them got on the ground and kneeled and prayed with her. I mean, this was all right after she just said she murdered her son.
Yeah, I mean, Chippies came in here
Yes.
fast and hot and really figured out to get on top of that hill and, you know, saw this guy
It's a wild
first and
video.
arrested the other guy
I didn't.
first.
I was
So
going to put
for
it
an
in
agency that
my
was not involved in the
news thing,
pursuit,
and then I was
they
like,
certainly became
wait,
involved in
because
the
I think I
arrest.
want
Yeah,
to
they
do just a
decided,
little
right?
short
Because
video.
LAPD
There's
probably
some
asked,
body cam
the
videos
Yeah,
and
chopper
some
pilot
things I
sounds
found
like
that's
he may have
really
had
interesting.
communication and they accepted
So
it.
I
Right.
really feel like
When they
it'll
were
be
on
a
the freeway,
real
there was conversation about
controversial
CHP
thing.
taking over the chase. Obviously,
know.
they never got to that point. But I'm guessing those units were getting in position to take it.
Oh, look, they got one of
They're
them.
talking to, oh, that's that suspect they
Suspect,
have. Okay. Well, Desmond, Mike,
Oh,
we're going
no, that's
to
it.
go to our Danny Rivera.
Okay, so they did get one of the
We're gonna say
suspects. So
goodbye to
two
our
of them now.
Total viewers, and
I'm over here talking. I
know,
wasn't even
who's
paying attention.
Danny?
Yeah. Ah. All right. Well, that was fun, y'all. That was fun. Gave us a few minutes, a few enjoyable minutes, 35 minutes or something like that. So, anyways, yeah, I'll send it to you in a private message, Theo. Anyways, Hector's home. I'm gonna go watch some TV with him and spend a little bit of time with him. So till tomorrow, peace. We're out. See y'all.
Life's a ride on a rickety old